Hey guys, Claire here. In today's video, we're going to talk about all things Harry and Meghan. Marie Claire had the exclusive of Duchess Meghan hosting a heartfelt holiday dinner with Afghan women starting their new lives in America. In this exclusive, they discussed the Archwell Foundation Welcome Project, as well as holiday traditions with Prince Harry, Prince Archie, and Princess Lilibet. In celebration of Thanksgiving, Meghan and the Archwell Foundation hosted a heartfelt dinner for the Southern California Welcome Project. This initiative was led by the partner organization Mina's List, which has spent the last year building community and creating a safe space for women who have resettled in the United States from Afghanistan. Archwell Foundation remains committed to uplifting women and fostering community through shared experiences, reinforcing the importance of unity and support during challenging times. Show up and do good. Love seeing Meghan and the women just looking so happy and joyous during this season of Thanksgiving. And for all my listeners who are outside of the United States, do you guys have a Thanksgiving Day? Is it in November? And if not, let me know in the comment section below. And continuing with the theme of Meghan supporting women, this week I've seen a slew of articles talking about Meghan's investment in Highbrow Hippie, specifically focusing on her investing in a Black-owned brand. It's been really interesting and refreshing to see media in the US providing more factual and to-the-point articles about the causes that Harry and Meghan are undertaking, the people and things that they support. And if you're interested, you can check out that article from Essence magazine. Prince Harry's been having a fantastic week in the press. This article from Newsweek made me chuckle. It said, Prince Harry's boss walk caught on camera. Prince Harry, walking with his entourage, went viral on X as a fan labeled him the only Windsor with a backbone. Not only that, but Lego decided to join in on the fun by creating a little mini Harry and mini Jelly Roll while giving a shout out to the upcoming 2025 Invictus Games in Vancouver. Awesome. Sort of reminded me of the time that Legoland spent over 600 hours building a toy version of Harry and Meghan's wedding, complete with a replica of Windsor Castle, the Royal Guards, and of course, the bride and groom.
And you're hanging out with Prince Harry.
Wait, have you done this before? What? You practically.
Dude, Prince Harry, dude, what a dude. The Duke of Sussex, man. He's the guy. He was awesome. What a sweet guy, man. I don't know how familiar you are with the Invictus Games, but, man, what they're doing with that is just one of the greatest acts of humanity and bringing people together I've ever seen and honoring those that deserve to be honored. And I'm honored to get to do it.
So apparently Prince Harry is American now. I know in the UK they do some fancy coronation or whatever, but the way we do it in America is having a country singer tattoo their name on your neck. Welcome to our country, Prince Harry. Next you'll need to get some truck balls and then you'll be good to go.
More people who've spent time and interacted with Prince Harry during his trip in Vancouver have been posting about it, sharing photos as well. Ruben George on Facebook said, spent half the day with Prince Harry. We talked about the colonization First Nation people went through. I'm impressed with how he carries himself and how he wants to help. Terry Teague said, nice quick meet and greet with Prince Harry, and he seems to be committed to the reconciliation efforts here in Canada. Thanks to Chief Wayne Sparrow and the Musqueam First Nation for arranging the quick meet and greet.
Is there anything that Prince Harry, this guy, can't pull off brilliantly? I'm not absolutely sure. And many thanks to Wade Grant for posting this remarkable and beautiful image over on X, showing Harry with members of Wade's family, as Harry continues his Invictus work from schools to meeting members of the Canadian Indigenous population. I've got to say, my feed on all channels this morning in the UK, it's 7:45. My feed is full of amazing images like this. Harry seems to have knocked any other interesting news off the top spot. There's very little on any channel in the UK about the official royal family engagement last night. And in fact, on the Daily Mail UK site, it's not even in the top 25 stories. Absolute madness. Harry continues to go from strength to strength by being caring, aware, conscious, driven, and kind. And the media love this approach. They follow him all over the world. Good work, Hazza. That's all I can say.
Good work indeed. Did you guys see the trailer for Harry and Meghan's upcoming Polo documentary? It didn't go in the direction that I thought it would go, but I'm so excited to see it. It seems very spicy. What do you guys think? Did you see it? The show will be premiering on December 10th. Prince Harry's Travalyst was present at the climate change conference. The CEO of Travalyst, Sally Davies, spoke at the first ever thematic day dedicated to tourism. Travalyst has been behind the scenes doing a whole lot of work for 2024. Looking forward to seeing what else is in store for us. Official accounts have revealed that the King's coronation has cost taxpayers a whopping £72 million. The figures included £50.3 million for the Department of Culture, Media and Sports, and the additional £21 million for the Home Office for policing the event.
Feel how you want about the royal family, but this idea that they cost us money is a complete myth. £72 million. £72 million on a one-day event to put this old man on the throne. An old man whose family is worth £88 billion. And we spent £72 million during a cost of living crisis for a one-day event. And you're saying that's not costing us money? If you think that that is normal and that is acceptable, then you are delusional. And before you come with the whole tourism argument, the UK economy on the month of the coronation grew by negative 0.1%. So I'm no mathematician, but the math is not mathing. And you know what? Even irrespective of the economy, let's pretend that the economy rose during the month of the coronation because loads of tourists came. So what? That still doesn't justify that we're paying for it. These are billionaires.
Billionaires indeed. And fresh off the docuseries where we found out about the insane amount of money that they're getting from cash-strapped organizations, it just doesn't look good. But there'll always be people who will make excuses for organizations and individuals and sometimes political movements if they really believe in it, regardless of the facts, regardless of the figures. Unfortunately, that's just the world we live in. There was a video that I saw from, I believe it was Channel 4. This elderly woman was talking about her not using heat in her home for like the past 2 winters, I believe, and it broke my heart because there's so much money that these governments and organizations have, and they simply do not help the people who are in need. They'll pretend to do it for PR purposes, but behind the scenes, not helpful.
When was the last time you turned your heating on? Hello.
Oh, about 2 years ago, at least.
So you haven't used your heating for 2 years?
No,
Why?
not central heating.
Yeah. Why? Why is that?
Because it's too expensive. Simple as that. It went up so high that you just can't afford it. We don't get high enough pensions to afford anything like that.
How do you heat your house?
I hate it in bits and pieces. I go out running a lot, and I warm up running. I come in, I put the heater on, after about an hour, because you're warmed up when you run. I put the heating on then, and then leave it until a little while, and I go out shopping, and then I go off and on all day. The only time I have to leave it on longer is in the evening. Of course, when you're sitting, you can't sit. I mean, I'm fit and active, so I get away with it. But most pensioners in a terrible state.
How do you think it will make you feel if you already can't afford to use your central heating and the cap goes up tomorrow? How would it make you feel?
It's horrifying. It's a horrifying thought. Because you can't cut back any more on what you're doing. The food bill is enormous. It's double what it used to be. And it's absolutely... I cannot believe that a Labour government is doing this to pensioners. It's absolutely... People are disgusted by it. I mean, it's turning us literally into a third world, isn't it? The pensioners are going to... Well, they're just going to freeze to death. It's undignified for pensioners. We worked all our lives. And this is the treatment we get when you're older. You know, there's people in government who've got to realise that they're going to get old one day. And it's, and they're going to realise when it's like, they don't value pensions at all. We're just a nuisance. I think they would literally like to see us gone.
You know who I really feel sorry for? The people who own most of the land in the UK. You know, the aristocracy, corporations, tycoons. It's plebs like me and you, and I'm guessing you're a fellow pleb, and not a duke. Although there probably is the odd duke. Aren't they all odd? Watching TikTok. But us plebs, we're so lucky, aren't we? We've got access to about 10% of the land in the UK. I mean, we're just ever so grateful. The media isn't telling you that a third of farms aren't owned by farmers. So who are they owned by? Well, probably one of the many dukes, or Lloyd Webber, or the owner of the Daily Mail. I mean, what do these people have in common? I don't think it's poverty. It's funny how James Dyson and Jeremy Clarkson have bought farms. What caused their sudden interest? Well, Clarkson didn't just give us a clue. He told us outright. He bought a farm to avoid inheritance tax. But I'm sure it was just a slip of the tongue and he didn't mean it, and it's definitely not the reason why multimillionaires buy farmland in the UK. The irony is that by not having inheritance tax on farms, land prices have skyrocketed. Taking more farms into the price bracket is going to be taxed. So it turns out that after 14 years of austerity, causing poverty, misery, death and despair, the people who really deserve pity are millionaires. Who would have thought that a policy that aims to redistribute a tiny amount of the UK's wealth would lead to protesters shutting down London? What was it Jeremy Clarkson said about protesters who shut down London? I'm sure it was something about they should be in front of their families. Yet there he was, on a protest, shutting down London. Along with the majority Brexit voting lot. That worked out well for him, didn't it? Well, it did work out well for Farmer Farage. He was there, wasn't he? Playing along, pretending to be an ally. We all know that Farage's farming skills go as far as wearing a Barber jacket, a hat and wellies. It appears that pretending to be a farmer is far more lucrative than actually being one. Maybe real farmers should give it a go. They only need the outfit, and they've already got that.
This week, Harry's uncle, Charles Spencer, posted on X about his American grandfather. I had no idea about this specific family member from the Spencer side. My American grandfather, Maurice Fermoy, studied at Harvard, served in the United States Army in World War I, was an MP in the House of Commons, served in the Royal Air Force during World War II, and was mayor of Kings Lynn in Norfolk. So yeah, looks like Harry's got that American connection. The military connection as well. How cool is that? Now, there have been stories about a particular break-in, and I've seen a lot of theories of people saying, well, is that even true? Since the mess that Kensington Palace made, them being labeled as an untrustworthy source, people have doubts when it comes to things that comes out of Kensington Palace. The timing of the release of the story does seem interesting, a bit predictable. Whenever you see Harry and Meghan out and about and they're getting good press, in this case it was Harry in Vancouver, there always seems to be some sort of story that tries to take away from that press. Is that the case in this instance? I don't know. Well, I've seen posts from some people who believe that it is. But I can't help but think, what is going on with the security in this space that is supposed to be the securest of the secure, right? We're spending all of this money on security, yet the people who are breaking in get disturbingly close to members of that family who are supposed to be safe, right? And it makes me think about that alleged offer that Harry received a few months ago that he turned down. When that was a topic of conversation, there were people who were saying, well, that's a very unsecure part of the estate. I don't know how true that is, but my goodness, what is going on there? Security needs to get it together.
Child, we got some royal gossip slash drama that happened overnight. Let's get into it. Did y'all hear about the burglary overnight at the Windsor Castle estate? Yeah, that estate. And to make it 100 times worse, actually 1,000 times worse, Prince William, Princess Kate, and their 3 kids were all there asleep in their cottage. I don't really think it's a cottage per se, but that's what they call it. And apparently all of this happened at the entryway slash exitway closest to the cottage where the five slept. I got a lot of questions, and I mean a lot of questions. How in pea-picking tarnations does this happen? It's the royal family. Don't they have security hiding everywhere? So apparently 2 items were stolen. One was an Isuzu. I didn't even know they still made those. And 2 was a quad bike. And it was all in like a little farmhouse. Now I'm going to say this. You can't tell me the people breaking in had no idea what property they were breaking into. Doesn't everybody know like where the royals live? Especially if you live over there? I don't know. This smells awful suspicious. Stay tuned for this developing story.
And I also want you to notice how the British media talks about Harry and Meghan anytime they do solo engagements, right? Versus anytime William and Kate do solo engagements. My goodness, William went all the way to South Africa with Earthshot. Kate wasn't there. She wasn't there by his side supporting her husband. Do you think the British media reported it in that manner? So this is not new. The attack on women coming into this family is not new. And it wasn't new for Kate either. So I want to be clear. But the bluish shade makes a very valid point here. The ways in which the media has decided to play favorites. If you are someone who takes in media, which we all do to some degree, I don't care if it's just something you're reading. Some people don't like the internet. Maybe you're reading your newspaper still, however you take in media. We should definitely be concerned when our news broadcasters, even if it's tabloid news, I get it. I know you're thinking, Carol, nobody takes that seriously. But I disagree with you because too many people do take it seriously. Because let's be honest, most people are too lazy when it comes to, that doesn't sound right, or that's kind of weird, or that feels different. Most people aren't going to take that extra step and dig a little bit deeper. Meghan and Harry's situation, let me rephrase that. The situation that has been made out of Meghan and Harry's relationship, let me put it like that, is a prime example of what I mean here. There's always been this clear difference in reporting on the two women and the two relationships. And one thing, if the couple does this, they're fine, they can do that. But if Harry and Meghan do the same thing, it's a problem.
The scream I screamed and the chuckle that lasted super long when I first read this, I could not stop laughing because if anyone was around during Queen Elizabeth's passing and you were on Twitter, a lot of people discovered in real time just how funny the Irish are. Now, Paul Mescal was asked how wild it was to meet King Charles at the Gladiators 2 premiere, and his response and statement is just absolutely chef's kiss. I'm Irish, so it's not on the list of priorities. Granted, if you really did not know how funny the Irish can be, you really discovered it on Twitter during that passing. That entire thing was an absolute moment you had to be there for because the comments were commenting.
Paul Mescal met the king and he wasn't really that excited. This has caused an international incident according to the Daily Mail. I'm going to show you the crazy interaction they're talking about here.
What was it like meeting the king?
Ruthless
Not something
question.
that I thought was in the bingo cards. I'm like Irish, so it's not kind of on the list of priorities, but it's an amazing thing for me because I know how important that is.
As a member of the general public, I am shocked at this footage. Apparently, to some people, it was news that Irish people couldn't really be bothered with the king. Other people felt it was inappropriate to even ask an Irishman about the king in case he got triggered. The Irish people are not soft. We are just not really that bothered about the royal family. Sorry if that's offensive, but we can't get excited about everything that's happening everywhere. If I met the king, I'd be respectful. I'd do a little bow and tell him he's got a lovely castle and eat tiny sandwiches with him. But I wouldn't be that excited.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, hit that notification bell.